Okay, Robert, round two. You should know better. You should be at the service line and be moving forward. Okay, it's not explosive enough. When we gave you choice, we gave anybody choice, just based on all the visitors I have over the year. They come in and we'd have to rebuild their game. Is Tennis Smith students would do static balance training. Say, okay, your choice. Get out on the court, do dynamic balance. Kids today, you don't need to have a physical trainer. Okay, I'm going to pay this guy $50 an hour to tell me to skip rope and do sit-ups, play catch with a medicine ball. You've been blessed with a good body for running. And again, it's a lifetime sport. You're not 20 years old, so 15, where you have 75 years to work for a 90 and over tournament. Start to believe. Now here to get set, back in the ready position, keep the racket higher longer. So you know those things. So go out and go cross court. Now, have you been through, I know your dad has, have you been through the Great Base course? Have you been through Tennis Intelligence Applied? When it comes down to, hitting a forehand inside out from the offensive area of the red zone. I mean, do you know that? Or are you just a high school kid? And you played high school tennis and your coach has so many positive things to say about you, but when it comes down to getting to the level where you play college tennis, high school tennis in America, now you just sign up for it. So keep moving, getting a bigger step out. Doing reverse cross courts instead of just doing the conventional cross court. You tell the coach, okay, let's hit cross court, because you want to get more inside out. It comes down to having targets. How many times can you hit the ball consecutively? How many times can you hit the ball over the service line? You can do drills that are, you start off, so okay, let's do partner training. We do predictable hitting. Let's hit 8 balls up the middle, and then we play it out. Play with your ground strokes. Play the depth game. We're going to rally over the service line. You hit short, you lose. Okay, up here at the net, you're volleying, and if your volley lands inside the service box, you move backwards. Again, you and your dad, instead of finding a coach where you got to pay a lot of money, you need to get a hitting partner. And when you get a hitting partner, the hitting partner doesn't have to be paid fees. The hitting partners don't have to talk. They're sparring partners. If you go someplace, and this is something your dad should know, if you were just to pay for one lesson, they're going to know that you can play tennis, and then ask them to find you hitting partners. I'd ask them to find you sets to play, and then play more than anybody else. Look at that. That right there is just, you got up like an old man right there. Jump back, center yourself in the ready position. I used to do that when I used to go to England. I would take one lesson at a grass court facility. Even in my 30s, I would do that. And then the teaching pro would know I knew tennis, I played well, and find me people to play. Now right here, the physicality. Are you sitting in the chair? And you have to be spoon-fed. You have to have someone, okay, get lower, Robert. Get lower, Robert. You don't want to lose your base. And keep in mind, when you play a match, people are trying to break down your technique, and you do lose it. In other words, your opponent's trying to get the ball out of your strike zone. Opponent's trying to make you move. They're not trying to give you the perfect pitch. It's not like they're tossing the ball to you underhand. You got to just believe. You got to be a human backboard. You can do this all day long. If you were just to think about the situational drills that we have in our online course, attack, counterattack. It's a 25-hour course, and it doesn't cover all our content by any means, but someone serves underhand, and you attack. you automatically play the approach shot. Now you're playing volleys and overheads. So you can play competitive games. If you're playing a younger kid, don't be stupid. You're playing a younger kid, go out and have the same energy, the same enthusiasm. And brawn versus brain. So many times a guy like yourself, 17 years old, you play with, say, young Victor. We got him so he was hitting the ball much better. He's not the strongest emotionally, but you would play Victor and then you'd be slap happy. Why would you do that? What's that going to prove? You play a young kid like that, keep the ball in play, they hit short, you win with placement. And you work on your game. And your ego's not threatened. You play a girl, you play a younger boy, ego kills. You just enjoy competition, win or lose. Jimmy Connors, greatest thing in life is to play tennis and win. Second greatest thing is to play tennis and lose. But a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, time, money has gone into your tennis. Are you a taker or a giver? And again, you just need to find repetition. You need to find quantity. You need to find people who want to hit and people who want to compete. I remember when I had become a pretty proficient player, I played with a baseball player. This guy had a great serve, and he was a lefty, and it was great for my return. And after that, he was a club player. But hey, this is great. I'm going to work on my return. He had a rocket for a serve, and then I'm just going to rally with the guy. Imagination is greater than knowledge. I mean, do you love overheads? Are you going to find somebody, hey, you feed me baskets, I'll feed you baskets. You and your dad don't need to be looking for someone who every time you get on the court, you got to give them money. And if you find players that are not quite as good as you are, that'll serve you so well, because most of the time what people want to do is they just want to play with a better player. They're always looking to play with a better player so they don't even end up playing. Play with anybody and everybody. Be challenged, don't be threatened, no matter who you're playing. So yeah, we could tell you to turn more. You've got binocular vision, you're looking straight on. You're not looking at the contact point. Your eyes shift, your head shifts. Remember, the highest form of retention for learning is to teach. You should be able to teach tennis. You got to get over that shyness. You got to speak up. You got to shake people's hand, look them in the eye. Pardon my French, but I've given you a lot of shit. The only way to grow is to eat shit. And rule number 1, do just the opposite of what you want to do. Rule number 2, one-time rule. And rule number 3, be different. This is the making of a great serve. Awareness, acceptance, commitment. You just got to be committed. You're aware, and you've got the point where you accept it. You thought there were shortcuts. When you were a young kid, you didn't really think, okay, one day I'm going to have to be able to play all court. One day I'm going to have to volley. When you were a young kid, you didn't put the pieces of the puzzle together. You didn't make the connections. You haven't completed our course, Tennis Intelligence Applied. There's so many connections within that course. And then, so you haven't had enough light bulb moments in tennis. Send me an email if you have any questions. I know we talked about, tennis life after high school, but take care of one step at a time. Certainly we can help you out down the road, but you got to help yourself day by day. And don't kid yourself, you've got a great background in tennis. You've got a technical base that most people will never have. The question is, what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? All right. All the best to you and your dad. Send me an email. Thanks.